So a HUD listing agent pretty much just means that you are qualified to sell HUD homes. It means that you applied with HUD and HUD accepted you and you list and sell their homes. So if you see a home in the market and it's a HUD home, then you are qualified to become a listing agent if they select you to list that particular house.
Gotcha. For those who don't know, what's the HUD home?
So a HUD home is a government foreclosure where HUD backed the loan. So HUD backed the loan when the person bought it. So they got an FHA mortgage, HUD backed the loan. And unfortunately, that person couldn't keep up with their payments and HUD foreclosed on it. And when they got foreclosed on, it went back to HUD as an REO. And then since HUD got it as an REO, they'll typically use a real estate agent to sell those assets for them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes HUD will bundle them and sell them off, but most of the time they will use a HUD listing agent. And we call them HUD.
Welcome to the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson, and today we have a returned guest. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing fine, doing well, not complaining at all.
That's awesome. For those who didn't get an opportunity to listen to your interview on the first podcast, tell us a little bit about who you are.
All right. So I have been in the real estate business 22 years. I'm in the Virginia Beach, Virginia area, and I am in the REO space. I've been listing and selling REO since 2005. And I'm a certified probate specialist, a certified foreclosure short sale specialist, certified real estate instructor, HUD listing agent, REO listing agent, and this happened to be in the industry right now.
That's awesome. And what is a short sale agent?
So short sales, we don't really see them too much anymore, but it means that the homeowner cannot sell the house for what they paid for it. So if they can't sell it for what they paid for it, then they have to apply to do a short sale. And that just typically means that they're requesting permission to short the bank some money. So, typically when you close on a house, you pay the house off. But if the value of the house is not there to pay the bank off, then you have to get permission from the bank to say, hey, I want to sell my house, but I can't get what I owe you. So can I short you some money? And then they apply and do paperwork and get the short sale hopefully approved. So it's a tedious process, but it works, and I love doing them.
Awesome. And you said you were a HUD certified agent. What's that?
So a HUD listing agent pretty much just means that you are qualified to sell HUD homes. It means that you applied with HUD and HUD accepted you and you list and sell their homes. So if you see a home in the market and it's a HUD home, then you are qualified to become a listing agent if they select you to list that particular house.
Gotcha. For those who don't know, what's a HUD home?
So a HUD home is a government foreclosure where HUD backed the loan. So HUD backed the loan when the person bought it. So they got an FHA mortgage, HUD backed the loan. And unfortunately, that person couldn't keep up with their payments and HUD foreclosed on it. And when they got foreclosed on, it went back to HUD as an REO. And then since HUD got it as an REO, they'll typically use a real estate agent to sell those assets for them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes HUD will bundle them and sell them off, but most of the time they will use a HUD listing agent, and we call them HUD listing brokers.
Got you. So what's the difference between a foreclosure and a REO?
So it's pretty much about the same, but an REO pretty much just means that it reverted back to the bank. So when a house goes into foreclosure, what happens is they typically try to sell it on the courthouse steps. And when it doesn't sell, it goes back to the bank as a real estate owned property. So a lot of times people would use foreclosure and REO synonymously, and they do have technical differences, but for all intents and purposes, when you see a REO on the market, they are typically foreclosures, the homes that went through the foreclosure process.
Got you. So how How difficult is it to become a HUD certified listing agent?
It's really not difficult at all, but what it is you have to know where to go first to apply, and then you have to know the right time to get in. So if you know where to go to apply and you know the right time to get in, it's actually super, super simple. But it's like anything else. If you know the secret sauce, then it's simple to you. If you don't know the secret sauce, is typically hard, because that is the most asked question that I get is how to become a HUD and REO listing agent. So I know to a lot of agents, it's hard to get in, but it's just because they don't know where to go and they don't know how to apply.
Got you.
It's simple once you know. Mm-hmm.
So in order to become a HUD certified agent or listing agent, is there any period of time that you need to have your real estate license? Do you have to be a broker? Like, give me a few things that meet the criteria.
Okay, so you do have to be a broker, but there are workarounds. So I will talk to agents about workarounds. So if you're not a broker, don't worry, you can still get in. You just need to have your broker's permission, which a lot of agents will do. So HUD does want a signed listing agreement with the broker. So if you're not a broker, you just get your broker to sign that agreement. And there is a package that has to be submitted in order to be able to apply. But I know agents that have never ever listed or sold an REO and became a HUD agent and got listings. So you don't have to actually have the experience. You can actually be new in the business and become a HUD listing agent. Absolutely.
And are you seeing any REOs or HUD properties come on the market right now?
They're starting to rev back up. They were really far and few in between, just like a lot of the other REOs because of the moratorium. But now that that's been lifted, I'm starting to see a lot of platforms open back up. I'm starting to see more REOs in the market. And then, of course, with the HUD homes, I'm starting to see more HUD homes as well. So everything is starting to rev back up, but people have to keep in mind that that moratorium is going to take some time to get through, that whole process and see, who's still behind, who doesn't still qualify, and then see which properties they're going to move forward with to foreclose on to be able to bring to the market. So, but I am starting to see it rev up.
Got you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Do you just list for HUD or do you have other affiliations with REO companies?
I have other affiliations as well. So HUD is not my only REO company. I have a regular REO company and also a corporate company as well that I list for. So, and they're all different. They all have their different, I'm going to call them idiosyncrasies. They all have different processes, and they all have different, requirements and things that they want you to do to list and sell their REOs.
So which process, you said there are different processes. Which process is a little bit more tedious, the HUD certification or listing for, another asset management company?
The HUDs are easy. Believe it or not, the HUDs are actually easy. It's the other REOs, because the other REOs, there are other things involved, such as, verifying occupancy, doing possibly cash for keys, possibly rekeying the property, maybe even helping to assist with repairs and things of that nature. And with HUD, you don't have to do that. So every bank is different. The corporate assets are different. The corporate assets typically have the home renovated. They really like their homes to look really nice. So those are the ones that may actually ask you to help them with renovating the home. And then HUD homes are sold as is. So when you get those, there's already a field service manager. They've already rekeyed it. You don't have to go and do cash for keys. Everything is already done. And pretty much you're just helping to list the property and just maintain it through closing and do your task.
You mentioned task. What are some tasks that you have to do as an REO listing agent?
So as an REO listing agent, it depends upon the bank. Every bank has different tasks, but at a minimum, you're going to have to go verify occupancy to make sure that, or to see if someone's living there so they can know which way they need to pivot. If the house is vacant, they'll typically get you to rekey. And if you rekey it, then typically they'll ask you to submit what's called reimbursement so that you can get reimbursed for rekeys. They'll ask you to possibly turn on utilities. You have trash outs that may need to be done. You may have renovation or repairs that may need to be done. There's a BPO that you need to do, and we'll talk about that a little later here, but there's a BPO that needs to be done, which pretty much is just evaluation, telling the bank what you think the house should sell for. And then you have all of your tasks once you actually list the property for sale. So it may sound a little tedious, but the thing about it is for each particular bank, once you get a process down, it's the same thing over and over and over again. So once you got it, you got it. You just need to know what their process is, and then set a very methodical step-by-step system for yourself, and it'll go smooth. It'll go smooth.
Was it hard for you to crack the code?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. As you know, Kevin, in this business, when you go to your coworkers, and I'm sure some of your listening audience can attest to this, when you go to your peers and you say, "Hey, I want to get into the REO business," even if they're doing REOs, typically they do not want to tell you how they got in. I hear it all the time, so it is very hard. I literally worked hours and hours and hours trying to get in, to get my first one. Nobody wanted to tell me how to get in. I literally did Google research. And the thing about Google, Kevin, is you don't know what you don't know, right? So when you're Googling, you kind of have an idea, you want to be an REO agent, right? So you're Googling whatever terms you feel is going to yield you some results, right? And as you're Googling, there's some, and now that I know what I know, there's some stuff out there that's good. There's some stuff out there that I'm just like, where do you even get this stuff from? So you have to know how you can take the meat and throw away the bones. And the hours and hours and hours of research is grueling because you don't know. And then, you'll waste time signing up with companies that you shouldn't have signed up for whatever reason. And it can just be a very tedious and daunting process. And like I said, I'm sure your listening audience, if they're watching this, they're probably interested in becoming an REO or HUD listing agent, and they probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It is hard to crack the code yourself, which is why I'm having this masterclass to be able to show agents exactly what they need to do, the blueprint, so they don't have to go through the grueling process that I had to go Googling night after. I would be in the wee hours in the morning because it's quiet, and you're able to Google and write things down and all that. So that's why I'm having this, so they don't have to go through the process that I went through, and nobody wanting to give up the information in their local market area and show them how to get in. I'm going to spill the tea, as they say, and give them the blueprint as to what they need to do exactly, step by step, to be able to get into this REO industry, and also a listing agent with HUD, because things are starting to rev up. So now is the time to go ahead and start trying to get in.
So when is this masterclass?
So the masterclass is on June 9th. It'll be from 10 to 2 p.m. And I want to express, Kevin, this masterclass, I can't even explain in words how intensive it's going to be, because I'm going to break everything down from A to Z. So if there's anyone listening that has ever been in one of my classes before, because I also teach real estate, know that I'm a very methodical person and I break everything down. I give examples and I leave no stone unturned. So it's going to be packed with information. So much so that if you get there at 10:05, you miss something. So it's going to start promptly at 10. It's going to be, full of information. And when I say promptly at 10, if you come and you have breakfast and you just think you're going to sit there and eat your breakfast, it's not going to happen. You're going to need to come there at 10 o'clock with your notepad and start taking notes, because your first note is going to be at 10:01. That is how information packed is going to be, because it's a lot to learn. And I want to make sure that they understand the process. And I also want to be able to give them websites and platforms and things for them to be able to sign up on. So as soon as the class is over, they will literally be able to start getting their documents ready to be able to start applying to some of these companies that I'm going to give them the actual websites to, and tell them exactly where they need to go. And some of these are going to be backdoor websites, as in like you can Google and Google and Google and Google, and you'll have to know what you're looking for to find these websites. So they're not easily found. So this is going to be, this pack full of information and things that they can use right away to sign up right away and be able to get started. And that's even with no experience. With no experience, I'm going to have tips and tricks and hacks and secrets and all of that, so that if you're a brand new agent in the industry, or if you have never sold an REO before, that you will have the tools, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do if you're brand new, how you can still get in and list and sell these REO properties.
Wow. So how can someone attend the class?
So they send an email to HUD Home Pro at gmail.com, and just put in the title, shoot your shot, and let me know that you're interested in attending, and then I will send them over an invoice to be able to attend the class. So the class is $19.97, but for your viewers, if they actually sign up within 24 hours, then they will get it for $14.97.
Wow.
So they will get $500 off if they let me know that they heard about the class on your podcast. So that's something special that I'm doing only for your listeners.
Awesome. So is this via is this a virtual class?
It is virtual. Good question, Kevin. Yep, it's virtual, so anyone can attend, and it's for anybody. Like I said, my local market is Virginia, but this is for anybody. If you're looking to list and sell REOs, and if you're looking to become a HUD listing agent, I don't care where you are, just sign up for the class.
Wow.
Class, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm super excited about it. I really am. Like I said, this is the most asked question that I get, and I'm just super excited to now share it and be able to educate people, like I said, so they don't have to go through the process that I went through trying to get into this industry. And it's a good time. Right now, as you know, the conversation going on right now is, are we going to see a tidal wave of foreclosures? It's like everyone's talking about it. Some people think we're going to see like this huge, massive wave of foreclosures. Some people like, nope, I don't think it's coming. So, but the thing about it, Kevin, is it doesn't matter whether it's going to be a massive wave or not. Bottom line is we're always going to have foreclosures. It doesn't matter of how much, right? So if you get in, maybe, we won't have this tidal wave of foreclosures. Maybe we will. We don't know, but we do know that there will be foreclosures. So go ahead and get in now. Learn that secret sauce, as I say. Learn the secret sauce, get in now. And then that way, if there is a tsunami of foreclosures, you're already in. You're not scrambling to try to find out how to get in. You already know how to get in. You already signed up with these companies. So, like I said, I'm super excited about it. And another thing I want to mention, Kevin, is I know some people may be thinking, Well, what if I don't get a listing? I know sometimes people are hesitant to sign up because they may think, hey, maybe I'll sign up, maybe I won't get a listing. Maybe an asset manager will never choose me to give a listing to. So for those people, I want to say that this masterclass is going to be so packed full of information. If, let's say, worst case scenario, you never even apply. Let's say you never even apply to these sites and you never get an REO listing. The information that I'm also going to teach you is how to sell these REOs. Because as a listing agent, you have to know how the sales side work, right? So worst case scenario, if you never even apply to become an REO agent, then you will know how to sell these REOs and you'll be able to sell them with confidence. Because I hear a lot of agents, they don't want to sell the REOs because they don't know how to. I've gotten a lot of referrals that way. People sending their buyers to me because they're scared to sell HUD homes because they don't know how it works, or they're scared to do sell an REO property because they're scared how it works. They don't know how it works. It's not a traditional resale, right? So you're going to learn how to sell these properties. You're going to learn how to be a buyer's agent and what's going to go on the buyer side. So you'll be able to do that with ease and confidence. So it's just well worth it.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you have to be a HUD certified listing agent, is there any type of certification you need to be a buyer's agent?
There is not.
Okay.
There is not. The only thing that you would need to do is your office does have to have a NAID number. So your office has to have a NAID number in order to be able to sell the HUD homes, because when you log in to submit your bid, the first thing it's going to ask you is for your NAID number. So your office has to have a NAID number to be able to bid, but no type of actual certification for that.
Awesome. So no certain certification, we need a NAIDS number. In the course, do we learn how to obtain that, or is that something different?
Absolutely. So the course is broken into two segments. The first segment is just traditional REOs, and I completely break that down. Like I said, I'm very methodical. If you're a person who likes to go step by step, if you're a list person who likes to make lists and you like to see, okay, 1, 2, 3, and ABC, that's me. That's how I teach it. So it's two segments. It's the REO side, where we learn about traditional REOs, and then there's a HUD side, because that's a whole separate animal within itself. So when I get to the HUD side, I definitely break it down. I explain what a NAID number is. I also show them where they need to go and how they need to apply to get a NAID number if their broker does not already have a NAID number. So all of that is broken down in that masterclass.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, question. So in the master class, they'll learn how to become a HUD certified broker. Mm-hmm. They will also learn how to obtain a NAIDS number so they can, in their brokerage, can purchase HUD properties. They'll also learn how to get in with asset management companies to list REOs.
Absolutely.
Are there any other kind of entities that or things they'll learn in that process that they'll be able to get assets from or REOs from?
Absolutely. So I kind of want to back up for a minute. So I just want to make sure that it's not confusing. So when you said that they'll learn how to get the HUD and NAID number so that they can purchase assets, I just wanted to be clear that they'll learn how to get how to get in with HUD. They'll learn how to get a NAIDS number, but it's not for the brokerage to purchase HUD homes. It's for the buyer to purchase HUD homes.
And my mistake. So they can represent their buyer.
There's a new agent on the line, or I'm sorry, if there's a new agent watching or listening, then they'll understand that that's really for the buyer to purchase a home, not the brokerage, because your brokerage is not going to be able to purchase HUD homes. It's a conflict of interest. Okay. So I just want to make sure that that part of it is clear. But yeah, they will learn about different websites and platforms that I'm going to suggest that they sign up with, because I'm starting to see some of the platforms that have been closed for quite some time are starting to open up. And you'll find that as you become an REO listing agent, you start looking for opportunities as to where you can sign up. What'll happen is you'll go there. Sometimes they're closed. Well, now these companies are starting to open back up, and I know it's because they're probably revving up and they want to make sure that they have enough agents for the inventory that may be coming. And another thing I think is that because of the pandemic, some of the older agents may have fallen off. So you never know what may have happened. That may have it where that the slots are opening back up right now. So now's a really, really good time to go ahead and sign up.
Got you. So to go back through these steps,
Okay.
how do they reach you to sign up for the masterclass?
Okay. So I'm going to go over how to reach me, and then I'm going to recap what they're going to learn too. Like I said, I'm super, super excited about it.
Okay.
So if they email hudhomepro@gmail.com and just put in the subject line, shoot your shot with REO Asset Managers, I will get that, and then I will actually send them a link that they can use to make payment and register for the class. Once they get that, they're in, they're good. They can just sit back and wait until June 9th at 10 a.m. and go ahead and log into the Zoom link, which will be sent to them that morning. For those that sign up within 24 hours, they will be getting a $500 discount because they're your listeners. It's a special offer that I'm offering only to your listeners and those that take action. And if they do that, then they will get it for $14.97 versus the $19.97, taking out $500 for those people that act within 24 hours. And once they do that, like I said, they're going to get a Zoom link in the morning, and they'll be able to access that Zoom link that morning. And it's going to be it's going to be an interactive class, but it's going to be packed with information. Like I said, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., it will be packed full of information. So if you come there late or you come there with your breakfast, you need to be able to make notes because, like I said, at 10:01, you will have your first note guaranteed. It's very packed with information. So they're going to learn how to become a HUD listing agent, how to become an REO listing agent. I'm also going to give them websites to sign up on, platforms that they'll need to sign up for. They're going to learn what documents are needed and where to find them. They're also going to learn how to apply, because there's certain tips and tricks and hacks and secrets that I want them to know, so that when they apply, it's in there and it'll make their application stand out. I'm also going to share with them how to get your first assignment, what you're going to do once you get your first assignment, because there's tasks that are due within 24 hours. So once you get that first assignment, you have to hit the ground running. So I'm going to show you what you need to do when you first get your assignment and what to keep in your car. So when you get that first assignment, you can literally go right to that house and go ahead and get that task completed on time. I'm also going to show you what you need to do if you're a new agent. So if you're brand new in the business, don't worry, because I got you covered. I'm going to show you another tip, trick, hack, so that you can make yourself look really good and show you what to put on your application so that you still get noticed, even if you are new in the business or maybe a little older in the business, but you've never listed or sold an REO before. So I'll also give you that. And I'm also going to explain the process from pre-list to closing. So from the time you get the asset assignment until the time it closes, you will know exactly what you need to do. And that's powerful, because Kevin, one thing I want to mention is that if any of your audience have ever sold a HUD home or REO, and I hear this all the time, a lot of times, unfortunately, the listing agents are either unresponsive or they're not as responsive as they really should be. So I'm going to teach them what they need to know and how to become the go-to REO agent in their local area. And as an extra added bonus, I'm also going to show them what they can do with their real estate license to be able to start making money. And I'm just going to say on the side, people like to say side hustle. So I'm going to say on the side until you start getting those REO listings. So I'm going to show them what they can do to start making money with their REO license on the side while they wait for those REO assignments to come in. So again, the money that they spend and invest in their business in this niche market, you cannot lose. And that's why I made it that way. I made it so that the person signing up feels like, hey, I cannot lose. Because I know sometimes people think, when they're getting ready to sign, they're like, okay, well, am I going to get an assignment? Maybe I won't get an assignment. And they're not sure if they should sign up or not. And I'm telling you, of course, I can never guarantee anyone to get an assignment. And even when you sign up, they're going to tell you, we don't guarantee you an assignment. But guess what? It's a very good possibility you will get an assignment. And Kevin, I like to share. I've showed a young lady already how to get in what HUD. She's gotten in and she's gotten assignments already, and already have already listed and sold HUD properties already. So what I'm showing does work. And I just want people to be able to get that information and be able to learn what's needed and not do all the grueling work to try to figure this out on their own. So let's do it together. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And like I said, I think it's going to be a pretty fun class. I'm not a rah-rah person. However, it will be packed full of information, and we will have question and answer sessions as well. So I think it's going to be a really, really fun class. I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome, Lisa. So for anyone who is interested in kind of catching up with you and talking to you beforehand, how can they reach you?
They can actually call me directly on my cell phone number, 757-754-0924. Again, that's 757-754-0924. They can call or text and just let me know that they heard me on the podcast, and if they have any questions, they can feel free to reach out to me. Yes, I'm definitely open to that. Absolutely.
Awesome. So I look forward to hearing the feedback on the class. Hey, listen, guys, this is one of the best in the business. Lisa Pless, in terms of getting REO, she's been doing it for 22 years. She's well experienced. And, out of any course that I've seen or heard about, this is the real deal. So definitely, if you want to sign up, reach out to Lisa. The link to her email will be in the show notes and in the bio. And if you didn't catch it, rewind it so you can hear it again. And then go ahead and sign up, and you'll definitely make your money back. I know some agents who have gotten information from her, and they've started and they've made their money back. So it's definitely a tried and true practice. This has been the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Jefferson. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Proverbs Podcast with Kevin Jefferson. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when the latest video drops.